Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to All-Star 15 TV. On the broadcast tonight, it is the Sim500 TranService Truck Series from Texas Motor Speedway. Let's bring in the boys up in the broadcast booth with me, high atop Texas Motor Speedway, Mr. Gary Wells. What's up, pal?
Well, not a whole lot tonight, sir, but, we're here at Texas. I love this version of Texas. We're at the old one, so it's a good one. Looking forward to tonight's race. We're getting down to the end of the regular season here. One more race after tonight, so it should be fun here. Looking forward to it, and I think we'll see a lot of good racing here.
And the best crew chief I know that likes to sleep on the job, Mike Campeggio.
Oh, you got me. I know Joe will be appreciating that comment in the chat. But what's going on, Gary? What's going on, AJ? Glad to be here at Texas. Looking forward to what the boys have in store for us tonight. Regular season's coming to a close. The intensity is going to pick up, so I'm excited for all the action.
All right, so let's get right into it. You guys mentioned the playoffs in a couple weeks. Let's pull up those points. And Gary, take a couple shots at what the points look like and how can we see a couple of the drivers under the cut line make it above that cut line.
Well, 18 drivers make it in. I'm really going to make my focus towards the back end of the field here. We know Tommy Ryan and Wesley Donaldson, they got a 12-point lead. Well, Tommy has a 12-point lead. Those two are going to be battling out those last couple of races. But down here, we got Doug Sigmund, Trey Eidson, Richard Beasley, Fuller and Ryan and Schweikart. They're all right down here in this 18 to 21 range. I really don't count Fuller because he hasn't been running full time. But from 18th to 21st, it's 5 points? My Indiana education serves me right. So that's 5 points between 3 or 4 guys. So going to be pretty intense here these last couple of races. These guys are going to be fighting for every battle. Bonus points are going to come into big play now more than ever. It's going to be really critical. If you could get a lap led or lead the most laps, there's points there, and having, just a clean race. If you could have a clean race and finish ahead of the guys you're supposed to finish ahead of according to the points, you'll be in really good shape come at the end of Richmond next week.
All right, and we're going to stay with Gary Wells here because it's time for his segment of Tale of the Tape.
Caught me mid-eating. I wasn't expecting it this early.
I wanted to get it out before qualifying.
Fair enough. So the last 3 races at Texas Motor Speedway, I couldn't really find anything on the old Texas, so we had to go with the new one. So this might change some things a little bit. They get anywhere from 3 to 5 cautions a race. They average about 10 to 12-ish lead changes amongst really anywhere from 5 to 10 drivers for each race here so far. The most competitive race by far was 2020, where they had 10 leaders, 19 lead changes. Really, the guy that has led the most laps has only won this race 1 time in the last 3 seasons, and that's Justin Fuller in 2021. The rest of them have started out really well and have dominated, but they haven't really been able to close the deals. So another guy that I'm looking at here, Hamish Gallagher, when he won in 2022, led 1 lap. He led the most important one. That was the last one. So really, it's just a matter of, you get into your rhythm and finding, what works for you. And the most important thing is getting your track position and keeping it at the end of the race.
All right, we'll let you go finish your dinner real fast because we're about to start qualifying. And speaking of qualifying, Mike Campeggio, you are really good with qualifying a car and maneuvering through a pack while you're racing. So let's hear your strategy to qualifying here at Texas Motor Speedway 2009 Legacy Edition.
Well, what I like to do, especially at the 2009 version versus the newer version, the newer version turns 1 and 2 are just atrocious. But with this version, you're really going to be able to I would expect you to keep these trucks wide open, especially all the way around, turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. What you want to do is, what I would like to do is start up high on the first lap, gain all your momentum, because momentum is going to be key. And that second lap, you really want to get down to the bottom to that white line. maybe even diamond your corners as well, and then get all the speed you can get to set down a good lap.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the first driver on track right now. It's the Toyota Tundra, Menards and Jack Link's Toyota Tundra of Joe Hudson. We're going to stay with him as he is right now one of the only drivers on the track. And let's see how he prepares to get that green flag as he crosses the start-finish line for the first time. And thank you, everybody, for hitting that like button, subscribing to All-Star 15 TV. We are on the road to 500 people. Let's get there. Let's jump on board with that number 15, see if he's full throttle. And he's taking a Daytona approach, it looks like.
Yeah, what he's trying to do is get all the momentum up in the truck built up for that second lap, because that second lap is going to be your key lap and your money lap.
Ooh, cracked the throttle there, entering 3, right back on it. Cuts it straight to that white line like you were saying. Holding a very pretty wheel.
Yes, you really got to hold a pretty wheel when you're doing this, because even if you tweak a little bit, you're going to scrub off all your speed.
And coming the line for his second lap, Joe Hudson goes P1. Let's see Wesley Donaldson as he crosses the line. He's going to bunny hop Joe. Mike Montesi going to stay in third. Seth Faudy in your
Mike Kelly
fifth
to the
spot.
top of the
Mike
board.
Kelly, P1, right on there. Mike. Mike and Mike. Tommy Ryan.
Good for Tommy Ryan. What a run that was.
Wow, what a great lap.
These times are coming in, AJ, like they're standing still back here. I mean, they're like one after another.
It's like a diner throwing out pancakes. You get a pancake, you get a pancake. The 16 of Steve Ritter crosses the line. Where is he going to go? It looks like P15. Jeff Ryan now blows up his qualifying 19th. Jason Karlovich in the 60 Toyota Tundra. Tommy Ryan had a really good lap. That matches with Tyler Dalton as well.
Just about separated by a couple thousandths of a second there. The 99 ran 29.81.8, and Tyler Dalton ran a 29.82.3. Let's see what Jason could do here coming to the start-finish line. He's going to be a little quicker, 29.90.
Ryan Macklin in the 30. Close out his qualifying. And survey says
he's the rocket man here for the series.
P4.
Real close. Usually, as of late, guys, he's been kind of catching fire under qualifying. He's been able to get that car in the top 5, or truck rather, in the top 5 every race the last few weeks.
And that helps the early portions of the race being already up front and not having to go through the field. As E.J. O'Rourke crosses the line, P6. Good lap. And basically everybody's qualified but Brian Wortman and Josh Harker. So now that everybody's hit that qualifying, let's talk about the drivers we picked here tonight. And no, I am not changing mine. Not the greatest of qualifying for my pick. It's going to be the 77 Chevy Silverado driver of Robert Fieri. Was really good in a pack, saw what he can do in a pack, and I chose him. Mike?
Well, I'm going to go with Seth Faudy tonight. Seth looked really good in practice. He was sitting P3 for a while there in practice, but dropped down to P5 toward the end of that practice. So I'm looking forward to see what Seth's going to be able to do tonight.
He's going to be starting 14th. And Gary Wells, who you got?
I got Kevin Stone. I'm kind of like you there, AJ. I thought he was going to look really good in practice. He was all right. Qualifying, not so much. So we both got guys that'll be driving up through the pack here tonight.
P17 for Kevin Stone as qualifying has finished. I'm excited, guys. We have that minute of warm-up, and with that minute of warm-up, we are going to take a quick break and send you guys over to the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast.
Industries across the board.
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join Nerds Doing Nerd Things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
All right, everybody, warm up is over. Thanks for tuning in. We've had a lot of people hit that share button on Facebook. Did you do it? Did you? Go do it. See if we get more people on this awesome product for the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. But let's get into the starting lineup for the TranService Truck Series here at Texas Motor Speedway. On pole, the driver of the number 99 Chevy Silverado, Tommy Ryan. In second, outside front row, Tyler Dalton. In row 2, you have John Swinehart and Brian Macklin. Row 3, Mike Kelly, E.J. O'Rourke. In your fourth row, Jason Karlovich and Wesley Donaldson. And rounding out the top 10, Scott Simley, Hamish Gallagher. Gary, take it away.
All right, in the 11th spot, inside row number 6, you've got Joe Hudson. And that 12th place, we've got Chad Coleman there. 13th is going to be Mike Montesi. 14th is Seth Foudy. 15th is going to be Richard Suavely. 16th is going to be Nelson Rivera. 17th is Kevin Stone. 18th is Roger Strickland. 19th is Robert Frieri. And rounding out the top 20 is going to be Steve Ritter. Mike, take us home.
In 21st, we have Joey Katina. In 22nd, we have Jeff Ryan. In 23rd, we have Doug Sigmund. In 24th is Josh Parker. And rounding out the field tonight in 25th is Brian Wortman.
All right, guys. Well, we have 110 laps around this 1.5-mile speedway. We'll start with Gary. What are you expecting?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of trucks running the bottom here early. It just seems like that is the best place to be for these trucks early on. They might be able to expand to a second lane once the tires fall off a little bit. So I think it's going to be hard to pass here once we get going. But I think overall, we should be in for a good strategic race, I think.
Now, you mentioned tire fall off before we get to Mike and Piggio real fast. When are we expecting that cliff? How many laps in?
Well, it depends on how hard the drivers want to push. We could see it as many as 5 laps, or we could see it as many as 10. It depends on how hard they want to push it early. Early in the run, if you're starting in the back, you might push it a little more, try to make your way up front, especially if you're a faster guy like Josh Parker, or you got Kevin Stone or Robert Frieri. You might try to push it a little more early. So it just really depends on the driver feel.
All right, Mike, real fast before that pace truck gets off, what do you got?
I'm looking forward to seeing how many of these guys can run side by side tonight and for how many laps.
All right, everybody, you're watching All-Star 15 TV. I'm Agent Capola, Gary Wells, Mike Campiggio in the broadcast booth. Pace truck is off in the command of Buddy the Flagman, and we are green. They're going to stay side by side through turn number 1 and 2. Macklin is going to jump to the inside. And we are 2 by 2 by 2. As you have the 99 of Ryan on the outside looking for that run. But Swinehart with a great entry to turn 3. Wow.
Yeah, he's going to be able to really take hold of that lead there. And Swinehart going to be able to take the lead. He is definitely one of those guys we talked about in the pre-race that's really going to need to step up his game. He needs to have 2 perfect races. He had a really great showing last week at Bristol. Needs to keep that up again tonight if he wants to make the playoffs here.
Yeah, right now we're starting to get single-filed The lone driver on that outside is EJ O'Rourke, and he's going to have to find a hole and find one fast. Is Hamish Gallagher going to let him in? He does, and now we are basically all single file.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a conveyor belt at this point here. Everybody's single file, except, further back in the pack, outside the top 10. We got some guys that are willing to still race it out. Texas can get pretty racy. I think the guys that are running the middle lane, as we talked about, might come in later. I think they're just dusting it off for everybody so we can have some side-by-side racing. We've been showing out and on his speed here as of late. He might be a guy, he's all over the back bumper, John. He might be able to make a move here if he can get a really good run out of turns 3 and 4.
Looks like he's just going to stay put for right now. Oh,
There goes Macklin. There he goes. Macklin's going for the lead.
I had something there. And then he just proved me wrong. And once you get kicked out of the groove, look at Swinehart. He's going to lose 2 spots there. And if it wasn't for Karlovich, he was going to lose another one.
Yeah, he definitely was looking to lose another spot there, but good thing he was able to get back in line and get back into a rhythm.
6 laps completed of 110. Let's drop back a little bit further. Let's go down to the 8th position, 7th, 8th, and 9th. You have O'Rourke, Gallagher, and Donaldson. Tommy Ryan in the 99 losing 5 positions early on in this race. Now, Gary, talking to a couple drivers, and I know you did your own research, we're looking at about 50 laps on fuel?
Yeah, anywhere from 50 to 55. It's been a while since they've raced at this old Texas, and the last time they raced it in this configuration, the trucks were completely different. So kind of went by what they have at the current configuration, and that was about 50, 55 laps. I also went with some current tracks that they go to, mile and a halves, that have the similar banking. I went with Kansas, and that was about 55 laps, 50 laps. So that's just a guesstimation. They might go more, they might go less. We'll just have to see.
As we have a 4-car breakaway up front, pulling away from the 19 of Tyler Dalton and Tommy Ryan. But looking for our biggest mover just 8 laps in. Got to go all the way down to that 14th position. Jeff Ryan is making it move 8 positions.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm showing the fastest truck on the racetrack that last time by was Hamish Gallagher with a 30.37. And Nelson Rivera's our fastest lap so far with a 30.01. So,
and he is definitely last on the field right now.
Yeah, definitely last on the field. But, hey, we know he's got the speed. It looks like he missed the grid start. That's why he's about a half lap down. So if he could catch an early break here with a caution, he might be able to work his way back up to the field.
Now let's ask this one, Gary. Is there any point of saving fuel to try to make this a one-stop race?
Yeah, we're right on the fringe of making it on just one stop, but it really just depends. Depends on the driver again. If he's able to save a little bit of fuel here, running this pack here and use the draft to his advantage, he could definitely save. But if you're one of these guys up here leading up front, like Brian Macklin or Mike Kelly, Schweikart even, they're pushing it. They're going to the maximum limit they can, so they're probably going to have a 2-stopper here.
Well, and we know that somebody in the field is going to try the one-stop strategy, because if you're way back in the pack, saving enough fuel with the draft, you're going to want to try to do it just so you can get maybe a little bit higher up the running board.
Yeah, that's true. I think we could see a lot of bubble guys maybe give it a try and see what they can do, because, they got to get all the points they can and try to get into the postseason.
Yeah, we're looking at this battle with Chad Coleman, Jeff Ryan, and Steve Ritter all under a blanket chasing Roger Strickland in the 52. As the 52 is going to take the outside, well, now the middle, but the different lanes for this old Texas Motor Speedway. Oh, as we have a car in the wall. That's Josh Parker out of 2.
That was Josh Parker. Looks like he got a little bit high and just smacked the wall.
Yeah, and turns 1 and 2 at Texas, that banking falls away from you pretty quick, and it's a pretty tight entry off the exit of turn 2 under this whole configuration. So that might be something we'll want to pay attention to the rest of the race here. But yeah, tough break for Josh Parker hitting the wall early on.
And I was just getting to it, Gary and Mike. You're able to run different lanes later on in a run. And we saw that, and it just bit him right there. Is that going to be something we're going to see? I know, Gary, you really alluded to it. But does this truck build tight out of corners or loose?
Well, it can. I mean, it really just depends on, again, the driver. If he's really leaning on that right rear, as the run goes on, that loose condition is going to get worse. If he's leaning on that right front, it's just going to get tighter and tighter. So the driver, and this is really a driver's racetrack, as much as we talk about these guys are holding it wide open and everything, but if you can manage your right side tires and keep them balanced tire wear wise and keep them pretty even, you're going to be in for a really good finish. So if Josh can get back into his rhythm here, he might have a little bit of an aero disadvantage going forward. But if he could just maintain his stuff, we could definitely see him running in the top 5 and the top 10 like he's accustomed to.
Jump on board with that 81 right now because he has a bunch of cars right in front of him, and the minute they get to a turn, they all scatter.
Yeah, and that's just a case of them just trying to find the cleanest air that they can get and the most downforce they can get into these corners, because these trucks are very aero sensitive, and aero tight really is a big thing here. A lot of aero push.
Well, you know what I've started to see too a little bit? A lot of these guys have started to run that third lane like way up high. I've seen a couple of drivers do that early on here.
But Seth Foddy right there just did it.
Yeah, and Jeff Gordon has always kind of approached this track similar to like in Atlanta, where you run the high line in turns 1 or run low in turns 1 and 2, or run high, whichever you prefer, and then just kind of do the opposite for 3 and 4. It just depends on how the truck's handling. So as this run goes, we might see some guys try to move around and just find that grip. I think that's really going to be the biggest thing with this old worn-out surface that we have here at Texas.
Mike Kelly is losing 2 positions entering turn 1 to Swinehart and Karlovich. It's going to drop them back to 4th. But Tyler Dalton, Tommy Ryan closing in on our lead pack. They are there.
Yeah, and Tommy, our pole sitter, I think he was just trying to, when he fell out of line, I think he just wanted to get settled in and get into a rhythm, and I think now he's able to do that, and I think he was able to save his stuff a little bit in the process of doing that, so he might be in a spot, and same with Tyler Dalton, where they could reel these guys back in. That's our front row starters right there, and be able to pass these guys back by the end of the run here.
Yeah, it looks like a little bumpy in 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was a really big case when they were repaving this place back in 2017 or 18, whenever it was.
Whenever
there
they
were a lot of, when they ruined it, there was a lot of bumps and there was a lot of drainage issues. So, and you got a lot of those bumps because of the drainage. But it really did create a lot of character. The bumps are really bad on the low end of the racetrack, but as you got higher up, they weren't as bad, and I think that's why we saw at the end of this configuration, we saw a lot of guys trying to go into that second and that third line, just trying to run away from the bumps.
Yeah, it's a great battle between Dalton and Ryan for this 5th position, as Mike Kelly is slowly starting to pull away again after being stuck on that outside and losing those 2 positions.
Yeah, he's definitely got a fast truck, but I think what he was also doing is playing the give and take early. We got an 110 lap race. We're on lap 20. When he let those guys go, it was probably like lap 15 or 16. Just trying to play it cool, make it to the end of the race. I think that is the biggest thing for these guys tonight, and thinking big picture. We just got to get to the good part where it's about 20 to go. If you can make it to 20 to go, that's when you really want to start racing.
Well, and he was probably saving a little bit of tire too early on in this run.
Yeah, saving your equipment's important, whether that's the tires, the truck itself. I mean, you really just gotta, in order to finish well, you must first finish. So, and get there, and get to be in contention for those spots, so.
Boy, we got a good battle back here between Success Valdez right behind Mike Montesi, Jeff Ryan. These guys are all covered under a blanket right now.
This is great, and I'm trying to figure out which lane is going to work, because it seems like the top lane will work, and then, as Strickland goes way high.
I might be
I think
three
he's
wide.
going to break in that Larson line a little bit. Ended up paying off for him, able to defend the, pull off the 3 and the 32 right there.
Holy cow. Yeah, was able to defend, able to get a really good run. He's going to try that again in 1 and 2. He's going to really have to be careful. It gets tight off of 2. He's going to have to cut it left, and he does.
Yeah, you kind of have you're kind of fighting two things there in turns 1 and 2. I saw it looked like his truck got a little bit light there about the center of the corner because of those bumps, and then you got to fight that tightness off of 2.
What 3 wide?
And they're 3 wide.
3 wide.
Remember last time we saw 3 and 4 wide here in the Cup Series? Oh no, what a mess!
This is some great racing right here. These guys are really racing with respect early on.
Yeah,
And
a
right
lot of
now-
respect for racing hard, and I think that's really what you want to see out of these guys. They know each other really well. They got a lot of talent, and they know that they can really push each other.
Looked like Josh Parker was trying to throw a block on Seth Body.
Yeah, and you have that too when you're running about mid-pack. And, Josh, he knows he's got a really fast truck. So sometimes you do have to block a little bit so you can kind of reset yourself and then make your next move. And he's going to do that here underneath 32 of Richard Swavely.
Yeah, move that 81 a position up. And I don't know if the 52 it worked for a lap or two, but now people are getting to that inside and just overdriving the turns. It's sticking, and he is losing a position.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely get
call me a liar
for a
here.
couple laps, but, if there's not a whole lot of rubber there, we've noticed with this tire model, and Mike could allude to this because he runs a lot of oval as well, the higher you run and the more there's not rubber there, you're really going to eat up those tires. So it's really important. You could do that for a couple laps, but there comes to a point where you got to get back in the groove and stay there.
Yeah,
Here we
you
go,
do.
3
'cause
wide again.
3 wide again right there. But I was
Jeff Ryan thought better of it.
yeah, I was going to say that Gary's right. If you are one of those first guys up there on that outside line and there's not much rubber down, you can only run up there for a few laps, and then after that you need to get back where everybody else has been running.
Going from one Ryan to the other. Tommy in 5th position. Got ahead of Tyler Dalton. See if that works for the two of them now as they try to make their way back up towards the front, because Macklin, Swinehart, and Karlovich all pulling away by just about a second over the rest of the field.
And here comes Tommy Ryan. He's going to make that move to the inside of that 2 truck, side by side. Mike's just like, I'm just going to let you have it here. And this is the part of the run we're more than halfway through. And let's see here. The last lap that Tommy ran, he ran a 30.63, and his fastest lap is a 30.30.
Second and a third.
Yeah, about a second and a third there of worth the fall off, and that's definitely worth noting here. We did notice that there would be some tire degradation. There you go, 28 laps into a fuel run here. Start on lap 29 right now, about a second and a third of fall off.
And they're still running the same line. As you're on board with Tommy Ryan, they're still running the same exact line. You really see the track starting to put rubber down.
Yeah, they're for the most part they're running the same line. They might differentiate a little bit here and there. Like Tommy, maybe not hugging the white line as much as he was before. He's definitely looks like he might have, and he's going to call me a liar. He's wrapping the white line through 1 and 2 there. But you could just kind of tell that they're not going instantly down to the bottom like they were when the tires are new. They're starting to arc it a little bit more and lift a little bit and try to get that truck as close to the white line as they can.
This battle.
But there was a guy named Kevin Harvick that was really good at places like here and Atlanta.
Atlanta, where he'd cut the throttle just passing the start-finish line and coasting through 1 and 2, basically.
Yeah, just coasting through 1 and 2, and just the thing we would call Harvicking, where basically, he would just paint the white line. And there's a lot of grip if you could paint that white line.
Wow, we're already past 30 laps. Wow, we are cruising here tonight. You're watching All-Star 15 TV. AJ Capola, Gary Wells, and Mike Campiggio up in the reinforced broadcast booth. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead to the description, whether it's in Facebook or YouTube. Click on the Streamlabs store. We have some limited time breast cancer awareness merch. All proceeds will go to the Susan G. Komen Fund. So go get your shirt now.
That's a really good cause that you're standing up for, AJ. Cancer research. Cancer sucks. I've lost a couple of family members due to cancer over the last few years, so good to see that you're pulling in that kind of effort.
Absolutely. I just bought 2 shirts, one Nerds Doing Nerd Things and one All-Star 15 TV, and I really can't wait for them to come in.
Real
And
men wear pink.
on the website too.
Right there, boys. Real men wear pink.
You're dang right.
And they drive pink too.
They do. I drove a pink car last night.
EJ O'Rourke cutting to the inside? No. I thought he was going to try to pass Coleman there. Man, we've been doing the Sim500 truck series, TranService truck series, literally for the last couple months. And it took probably last week or the week before for, oh, that's EJ O'Rourke looking at the car. Oh, Hamish Gallagher. I know paint schemes now. Woo!
Yeah, things are finally starting to slow down. You can almost call this race with your eyes closed.
Yes.
Almost.
Almost.
Probably gets better resolution if I do that. I'm blind as a bat.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been very impressed with these top 3. I know they pulled by almost 2 seconds on the rest of the pack here, but the fact that they've been able to stay together this close the entire run, and not really pass each other or really contend with each other has been pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think they're just riding. 36 laps into the race, they're just riding. They'll worry
Mike
about
Kelly.
the... Ooh, what happened to Mike Kelly?
All right, I was going to say, he's just coming to pit road, so he's coming to pit road earlier.
Well, I mean, plus, I mean, with the reconfiguration of Texas 2, you know, they have to lift a lot in turns 1 and 2 as opposed to what they have to do under this configuration. So it could be where, you know, they're cutting the fuel run by almost 10 laps. You know, again, I was kind of taking a shot in the dark with guessing the fuel window here tonight.
You're only 15 laps off for the start of the fuel run. I'm not holding it against you. But let's see if that's going to bring anybody else down. Because I will say... They did have
some friends with him in the 15 and the 52. They also came down pit road.
And they're going to be rocket ships.
Yeah. Well, they are definitely looking at you know, 2 stops now for sure between now and to the end.
Basically just waiting for the shoes to start to fall. Mike Montesi now on pit road.
Yeah, Montesi this time.
Be a rocket ship.
Yeah, Montesi's been kind of down on his speed though the last, I would say the last 5 or 6 races. So if he could get back on his high horse here and get back to doing what he does best, and that's being pretty fast, we could definitely see him running up within the top 10 by the end of the night.
Doug Sigmund hitting pit road.
Yeah, good old Sigmund hitting pit road. We're definitely beginning the green flag cycle now.
You're on board with Mike Kelly, and just look at the difference between 2-lap-old tires and 40-lap-old tires.
Yeah, look at the way Mike Kelly's been able to hug the bottom of the racetrack. You could already tell a difference.
Holy cow, Jeff Ryan now on pit road.
Yeah, Mike Kelly just ran a 30.25. And Brian Macklin ran a 31.93, so...
That's more than a second and a half.
Yeah, if you're looking at the numbers here, it might be time to start making some pit stops. We've got a couple more guys coming in. Brian Macklin, our leader, is one of them. I believe the 14 of Gattina, the 91 of Donaldson.
Tyler Dalton as well, EJ O'Rourke, Jason Karlovich.
Bunch of people on pit road.
Yeah, definitely easy 10, 12 trucks right here. It is big feeding time on pit road. But that's going to give the lead to John Schweikart.
For right
16's
now.
also going to be making a pit stop. Steve Ritter. I think Wes, he's hard on the binders here.
Yeah,
Or John, rather.
comes,
He's coming down pit road. Here comes Tommy Ryan very aggressively onto pit road.
Wow, he gained a lot right there. Let's see if he sped. Josh Parker,
Yeah,
Steve
we'll
Ritter.
definitely have to keep an eye on that. So for a lot of the top guys, I was about 10 laps off.
Just about.
I mean, you got some guys. You got some guys stretching it. I mean, like Chad Coleman, Gallagher, Foudy. Those guys look like they're stretching
I
it
think
right
a lot
now.
of these guys were probably going to split it into thirds anyway, Mike, because they knew they weren't going to make it on one stop. So why not split the difference? I think that's where a lot of these guys were at too. So, but the one thing these later guys don't want to see is a caution. They want to see this go green all the way through. Oh, EJ O'Rourke had to make an evasive action over Tommy Ryan there. Had to have a big swerve as Tommy Ryan was merging out of the pits. He went up right to the middle lane while EJ had to run and had to go way down to the white line to make a pass. We'll see that here on the replay. Big evasive maneuver there.
And still able to hit the corner.
Which is surprising. I mean, that just shows you the kind of talent we have in this league.
Well, Mike
Real
Kelly...
position here. Never mind. Just to they were passing Seth Foddy, blowing his doors off. He's stayed out here on this run so far.
Well,
Yeah,
Mike Kelly
on this
is your
run,
leader
Seth
out of
Foddy
all the
is
drivers that pit.
45. So, yeah, Chad Coleman hasn't pitted. Seth hasn't pitted. Simley hasn't pitted. And Wortman has not pitted. Him has just hit the pits. So, 4 out of the top 5 guys here, at least by timing and scoring at the line.
Here comes
pitted.
Coleman.
Yep, Chad's coming in here. I think we're going to see Seth. There he goes.
Seth loose.
Hang on to it.
Woo!
And Brian Wortman is probably going to inherit the lead here. Get some TV time there, Brian.
He's going to have to go another lap. He did not lead that lap.
And that beautiful pink paint scheme right there, too. What a paint scheme.
It's something, ain't it?
It definitely stands out.
That is for sure. Definitely taking the Morgan Shepherd instead of the purple. It's a pink. A little bit of a
You got the
twist
pink
there.
rims, too, on the wheels.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
You know it's October.
Oh, he's going to stay out again?
Here he comes. He's going to lead this lap. That'll get you some TV time there, Brian. Good job.
Brian's
He's
sixth.
to first.
Do you see what's on the side of that car, boys? It's his 600th Sim500 start to Brian
Wow.
Wortman.
Well, that's pretty cool, man.
Congratulations.
Not a whole lot of guys can brag about their league starts, but that's pretty cool right
There's
there.
not a whole lot of leagues that last this long.
It's very true, too.
That is true, yeah.
And he's going to stay out. He's getting all the TV time. He's saying, you know what, I'm just going to stay out.
You know,
Talk about me. Nah, I'm just
there it
kidding.
is.
That's
Racing
that's
for
not Brian's
Jesus.
personality.
Right on the hood.
That's right. That's right. Well,
Did he-
let's see. He's staying out here, letting these guys go. I think we'll probably see him come into the pits here in the next couple laps, I would imagine.
He is very much off the throttle. Let's see, is he going to hit pit road?
No, he's going too fast. But, you know, he's running a 32.3. That's what he ran the last time. Let's see what he runs this lap. A 32.37. So he's definitely a lot slower than the other guys. But, I mean, he's on 49 lap old tires now. We've been 49 laps into this run, and that's how old those tires are.
What do you know? The stream is 49 minutes right now, too.
There you go. About a minute a lap. Or, yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Ow, that hurt my brain.
Only 28 minutes into this race, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that is also true.
Yeah, these guys are flying right through this thing here tonight. Pardon the pun.
Mike Kelly just about 8 seconds behind Brian Wortman. The only difference is Mike Kelly pit on lap 36 and Brian Macklin on lap 40.
And this is going to complete the cycle. It shows over. Brian's pitting right here. It's over. 600 start for Brian. Wanted to get a couple laps left. Was able to do that. Got quite a bit of TV time. And
you don't know how this is going to shake out, though.
Into the pits.
You never know.
Well, he's definitely got the newest tires out of everybody. That's for sure.
By about 10 laps.
Yeah, so, there's another guy that really wants to see this race go green because he's going to have 4 Mr. Feelgoods and is going to be ready to pass a lot of trucks.
And Mike Kelly about a 2.5 lead over Brian Macklin. Jason Karlovich, John Swinehart, and Tyler Dalton rounding out the top 5. But that number 2 is leading the charge at Texas Motor Speedway. We'll be right back.
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need, with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
All right, everybody, we are back 55 laps into 110. Halfway, everybody. Macklin takes the lead. Swinehart's going to take second. Mike Kelly on those 4-lap older tires than everybody else. Kind of having an issue.
Yeah, cross flags in the air. Going to fall back to that 3rd position is Mike Kelly. Do we have a replay, AJ, of that pass for the lead?
I'm currently looking for it. It's stalled for time.
All right. Okay. Pretty easy pass. Wasn't much of a contest there. I think Mike was definitely just trying to let him go. Let's take a look at this pass for lead. Brian is able to get a really good run off for 2 and just able to set this pass up so well coming down the back straightaway.
Sets it up so all he has to do is just send it.
And he just goes right in there. He's got the position on the quarter panel there, and I think Mike is just like, you know what? It's still pretty much a one-groove racetrack. I'm just going to let you have it.
And then Swinehart's going to get by. Karlovich is going to get by. Mike Kelly back to the 4th position.
Yeah, Karlovich didn't have much of a battle there.
As we got some cloud cover on the racetrack.
Yeah, so that's only going to add more grip to these trucks and make them run some faster laps. So
what do you mean? They're already running almost full throttle.
Well, track temp does make a difference. If you have that little bit more grip, that's less off throttle time for these guys. So even if they're almost full throttle, they're definitely going to be even more almost full throttle.
So Gary, since we got a little bit of a lull in the action, and Mike, you could help with this too. What are you guys doing this weekend?
We are participating in Road Atlanta. The official race is coming out this Saturday.
Yeah, how many cars is Hutchport running this year? Because we're covering it on All-Star 15 TV. So if people want to come watch an endurance race, we're covering the back half of it.
And 3.
Trying to say we're going to run in the back half of the field?
Yeah,
no,
I was going
the
to say,
back
hold
half
on
of
now.
the race.
Oh, back half of the race. Oh, well, I mean, if they survive. I'm just
We're
kidding.
running 3 cars for Road Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm
We're running
excited.
2 Cadillac GTP cars, and we got a Dallara P217. And I'm in the
excited for it.
P217. So this is actually my road racing debut as a driver, at least for like these endurance races. So
Yeah,
And
buddy.
I am taking over the race management role for the first time this year.
yeah, you'll be alright.
Yeah, I've been relegated to broadcaster. I'm kidding.
Well, you're not gonna be here for half the day anyhow.
I'm aware I have a baby shower to go through for my Nerds co-host, who's having a kid in a couple months. Very excited for her.
Oh, Susie?
Yep.
Nice. Congratulations. Well, to Susie, not you.
Well, yeah, I know.
It's
I know.
fine.
I'm aware. I'm just showing up with a bunch of diapers just so I can help them carry it to their car. But up front, Brian Macklin, John Swinehart, Jason Karlovich, Mike Kelly, Tommy Ryan, your top 5 looking for the battle. Here's Mike Kelly and Tommy Ryan.
There was a little bit of a battle with Josh Parker. He's since passed Chad Coleman and Fieri. So, well, Fieri wasn't for position, but Hamish Gallagher was. He's up to that 8th spot after starting in the 24th position. And it looks like on the current run, Josh Parker's about 21 laps in. I think that's a pretty common thread. Brian Macklin's 22, so pretty common amongst our top runners here.
Taking a look at the couple of the drivers that did pit late, our biggest one that we were keeping an eye on was Brian Wertman. He pit about 10 laps later than everybody else. Not really working out for him. He's still about a half a second faster than everybody, but being in 21st and having to pass 20 other cars, it could be an issue.
Yeah, it could be, but you know, Brian's never really, well, how do I want to say this, Brian, without insulting you? He's never really been the one to go for the win. He's just kind of here to have fun and, you know, see what he can do. You know, he's a special guy. It takes a lot for him to come to these races and run like he does, and I know he puts a lot of effort into it, but for him just being here, I think that's a moral victory for a lot of these drivers.
Well,
here.
not just that. Everybody's on the same strategy. If you're just going to do the exact same thing as everybody else, you're going to run exactly where you are. He threw a Hail Mary, and we're going to see if it's going to pay off, especially if when it comes to that final stop, if he can just go 2-3 laps on just gas, screw the tires, just take the gas. You know, he could gain a couple positions of just, you know, hey, here's a half a gallon, go.
Right. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Brian's one of those guys, he always has the mind to out-strategize people because he knows that he doesn't really have the raw speed as everybody else, so if he could pick up a spot or two just by out-strategizing and staying out longer on a set of tires or whatever the case might be, he's definitely going to try and do that.
Tyler Dalton trying to get to the back bumper of the 2. That's going to bring EJ O'Rourke with him, too.
Yeah, EJ has been solid here tonight. Hasn't made a whole lot of noise that we're accustomed to seeing him doing, but you know he's right here, running in the top, inside the top 10, and having a really solid run tonight.
Yeah, I think he's just biding his time, and I feel like that's basically what this top 10 is doing, is just let's get the laps down, and we'll talk with 10 or 15 to go.
That's exactly right. And a lot of these guys here, they're 27 laps into this run, so we are on the verge of pit stops again. That fuel window is probably going to open up here in the next, I would say, 5 to 10 laps or so. Probably around 30 to go is when we'll see pit stops again. Maybe around
here
35.
Comes Dalton
so.
to the inside of Mike Kelly. Is he going to get it? No, it looks like that 2's going to have a hell of a run.
Yeah, that 2's going to have a little bit better of a run. He's able to defend right there. And this is where we've talked about the track starting to take in rubber and that middle lane starting to get some grip added to it with that rubber that's being laid down by these Goodyear Eagles. So able to defend a little bit there at the exit of 2.
looking to regroup and try that pass again. Does that 19 have a little bit of right front damage? It looks like it, unless the tires normally poke out that far.
Some of them do. It just depends on how their wheel offset is.
You know what? That's not his tire. It's just the paint job makes it look like a tire that's kicking out.
Yeah, I think some of it's paint job too. Yeah, some of it's a paint job, and again, it could be how their steering offset is, because that really does mess.
Oh,
with
we got
your
Brian
totals and that kind
Macklin.
of thing.
Brian Macklin is slow. He
Brian
was
Macklin's
slow
slow?
entering. He was slow entering turn one, and that's going to allow Schweikart. I mean, Macklin was off the pace, and he hit the apron, and that allowed Schweikart to catch up to him. I don't know if he had.
Sorry for the rewind, everybody, but we gotta see this.
Yeah, right. He glitched out, didn't he?
I think he blinked out. Here it is.
Let's take a look. Thanks, Nate, for liking the stream. Appreciate that. Oh, yep. There's the blink, and it did count it for me. He's got a couple of them here.
And what I think that was is he completely blinked out, even on his end, and just had to. He was going to get off the racetrack so he didn't, mess with anybody. So
I think he was just guessing too of where he was on the racetrack as well.
A good move.
Yeah,
he did
right.
make it to the apron.
He's still in the race. That's the good thing.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's had 7 blinks so far here tonight. So
That's not
definitely,
normal for him.
no,
He's
not
not.
really.
He's
but,
not one of the blinkers that we normally see.
Yeah. He's not too far off. There are a couple guys that have had a couple blinks, and we may not see it on our end of the broadcast, and it might not even be a full blink for some of these guys. It could just be, internet being internet, doing things like that.
So Gary, at this point, we're getting to almost another pit stop. Heck, if
Ryan is starting the cycle. He's pitting right now.
and kind of like what I was leading towards. If he's gapping another 36, Mike Kelly should be pitting now. But I think it kind of hurt him just a little bit. He's already back to that 10th position. He was within that top 5 before hitting pit road on 36.
Yeah, so I think he's going to try and run it out a little bit here. Just see if he can make the tires go a little longer and go a little bit longer on the fuel run. But yeah, definitely didn't work out for him like he thought it would. And it's amazing what 4 or 5 extra laps on tires will do, especially at a place like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he was really good to really bad. It's just he got passed by 1 guy, then 2 guys, then 3 guys, and now all the way back to 10th place.
Yeah, and it's just, I think part of it is him just letting guys go and saving his stuff, and I think the other part is, too, he didn't quite have the tires like he thought he would.
Arlovich trying to make Macklin's life just a little harder out of 2.
Yeah,
Josh Parker!
Sideways!
Oh, he's in the wall.
And no caution. We keep going. Green flag still out.
That was a great save.
He had a little bit of assistance. Josh Parker again in turn 2.
Here it is. Far chase. Oh, clip
It was clear. He cleared himself.
I think the wall saved him from really wrecking.
I don't see a lot of
that's for
damage
sure.
on that 81 though, so that's the nose is scuffed up just a little bit, but that's it. Let's check
Yeah, a
the
little
wheel.
miscommunication there between the 41 and the 81. I guess Josh thought the 41 was letting him go, and obviously that's not what happened. 41 was still there.
Nelson Rivera now on pit road.
He's got to try something. He was kind of hoping for a caution early tonight since missing the grid, and he hasn't had that kind of luxury at all here tonight. Mike Kelly, guess what he's doing, guys?
Hitting pit road.
Yep, so is the 91 of Wesley Donaldson.
I haven't talked about that 91.
We got a big cycle of pit stops coming here, guys.
Oh, and here comes the 81 as well.
Yeah, he didn't want to tell nobody. He wanted to be a secret.
Woo! Donaldson. Was that Donaldson back there?
That
He
was
cycled.
Donaldson. I heard that the Tokyo Drift songs for a second. My least favorite Fast and the Furious movie.
You remember
Why'd
when
you
those
talk about
movies?
that?
Remember when those movies used to be actual racing?
Yes.
Remember when those movies were actually good? I mean, what?
I know one of them
That's
that's good.
crazy where we say the quiet part out loud.
Well, pit stops are starting again. Robert Fieri currently leading the trucks that are a lap down. Has yet to pit. Currently in 15th. Here comes Richard Suavely now on pit road.
And here comes John Schweikert. And Jason Karlovich. Ooh, Jason!
Oh, Brian Macklin's wrecking.
Brian Macklin in the fence.
He's wrecking.
I think Jason got a penalty there, bro. I think I don't think he was at pit speed at all.
And Macklin is
and he's
just going
gone.
to disconnect.
Yeah. Well,
Like, I get being frustrated, but if a caution comes out, you're right back in it.
I will say, Karlovich, there's that yellow cone. That's where this pit road speed starts. He was at like 52. Right there.
Oh,
So,
Tyler Dalton he's lost it.
yeah, a couple guys here. And this is what you don't want to do as a driver, especially since we've been green this entire race, and that is making mistakes. You don't want to beat yourself with mistakes on pit road.
What's good is I don't think the 19 hit the inside wall very hard. The front of that truck still looks pretty good.
Yeah, lucky for him, he's still in pretty decent shape here.
Might need to change his underwear after that, though.
Yeah, and looks like Hamish Gallagher's in the pits as well. Scott Simley is taking over the lead.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
And-
Karlovich had a penalty there.
Yeah, lucky for him. I think what helped him was that he was a little bit sideways and was able to kick it down a little more in speed too. So, and him in the 30, where they were pushing it really good there going into pits. So, that's really going to change the outcome of this race because those guys were running top 3. So, going to be interesting to see. We might see Karlovich in victory lane. We'll have to stay tuned. You'll find out here in about 29 laps.
Strickland not Strickland. Wow. Swinehart making the pass on Mike Kelly.
Oh, now he's gonna be hunting for Strickland, you know. Brian Wortman out here on the run. He's got 33 laps on these tires, and he is pitting this lap.
Basically, they can make it to the end from here.
Oh yeah, they'll be able to make it to the end from here, no question. The only thing that might be in question is if we get a chaos. I mean, green, white, checkered.
Actually, funny story about that. Speaking of chaos, we have that shirt on our Streamlabs store.
Oh yeah, you guys need to go buy that too.
Dean Demmer, who actually just won an EFRL late model championship, bought a chaos shirt. And he
As
said
part of him winning the championship.
no, that wasn't a part of it. It was just he really enjoys hearing TJ, who's my Monday broadcasting partner, scream it at the top of his lungs without telling me he's going to do it.
I can't scream like TJ. Doesn't happen.
Mike
Sorry.
Kelly now getting passed by Jason Karlovich.
Yep, I believe.
52 Strickland. Well out of the way.
Really high. I think he's gonna have to come in.
No
tried it.
kidding.
He's got to come in. He just lost the lead. Now, here's your battle for the win, ultimately. You had the 19 make his mistake. The 30 made his mistake. So now you've really changed up the top 3 running order here. 01, 60, and 2. That's going to be that battle to the checkered flag. Pending if anything happens, like chaos.
And Strickland's coming to pit road. So like you were saying, Gary, Strickland finally made it to pit road.
Yeah, I think he just knew that he was going to have to come in and pit there. He stayed out way too long.
And we have the top 3 cars under about a half a second from each other. And then it's Then it's about 2 seconds from Kelly to Tommy Ryan from third to fourth. And it just falls off a cliff after that.
Yeah, even with Josh Parker's issues of the wall there and EJ O'Rourke, he's running that 6th spot. Still running pretty strong here.
Up
That truck just
18
hits the wall
spots.
and keeps on trucking.
18 spots. Started 24th.
Yeah, he's done a good job. And he hasn't had the aid of a caution either.
Yeah, he's done it the hard way.
We don't root for cautions here, people. I just want to make that clarification.
We do not.
But I know, Golf McLaren there, he always roots for the pace truck every week. And yes, you're right, Joe. You can't spell, but that's okay.
Okay, we don't ask you to spell. We just ask you to race and run a team.
Choas. Sorry, you got Speedway, Illinois. I got Choas.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
No, Wesley Donaldson's just lost a couple positions right there.
I'm sure it's going to be on a sound for Joe too.
Yeah, he to Idra O'Rourke and Hamish Gallagher trying to regroup. He did pit with some of the drivers on lap 77, and the 2 drivers that did just pass him, O'Rourke and Gallagher, pit on lap 80. So 3 laps difference there, and they are pulling away from that 91.
Yeah, and they're setting their sights on that 81 now. I wonder if there's gonna. Nah, I'm just kidding. There's not gonna be any retaliation. Well, you never know. Could be a Kyle Busch, Ron Hornaday thing. We've seen that here at this track.
Doug Sigmund really slow. Don't know what's going on with that 04. He is really slow right now.
Well,
EJ made that outside lane work. It would have a pretty good diamond off of turn number 2. Now he's slinging it down to the inside of Josh Parker.
I was gonna say I did see Doug Sigmund. I think it was a few laps ago before he pitted. He smacked the wall pretty good off turn 4.
So what you're saying, there might be some damage.
Might be a little, just a tad.
Nate's a little upset that he has to come to YouTube to talk. Sorry, man. I can only see one thing at a time.
Got to give the love to the YouTube world too.
I mean, I gotta give love to the Facebook world, I guess, but...
Oh. Well, no kidding.
Ha!
About time it all shows up.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, well,
Well, quick, as we're getting ready for the end of this race, looking with Schweikart up front, if he can hold this off and get redemption for last week, because he was in real good position last week to win. Well,
if he doesn't step over himself.
If he doesn't. But I'm just saying.
But if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If he doesn't step on himself.
Well, my point is that he was sitting 23rd coming into this race in points. So if he can pull this off, he might be sitting a little bit better for next week.
Oh,
yeah,
Joe
next
got
week
that
we
one
go to
first
Richmond.
We do go to Richmond, and that is, well, do they
Yep.
still call it the action track, or do they call that the sleep track?
I
depends
call it
on
the
who's
sleepy
running it.
track.
You're right. These trucks always put on a good show for Sim500.
They're a hell of a lot of Richmond's a heck of a lot of fun in the modifieds, but you know me and modified racing
You love it.
to the point where you tell me to shut up about it.
No, I don't. I love modifieds.
Looking
No,
at
Seth-
Tommy Ryan, Mike Kelly, and Chad Coleman under a blanket. This is for third. Who wants
Yeah,
to
this
come
is for
talk
the
to
best.
us?
That's right. That's right. I think Tommy does. I think Mike does too. So does Chad. Chad hasn't finished in the top 3 in a little while.
And here comes Tommy Ryan. They just
Not
put
for
Mike
long.
Kelly to that outside. And he's going to probably lose this position too to Chad Coleman.
Yeah, Mike has just kind of struggled at the end of these runs here tonight. Ever since the track has changed and started taking a little bit of rubber, he's just kind of struggled a little bit the second half of the race. Well, John's pulled away a little bit on Jason. It was a half a second. Now it's almost to a full second here.
Exactly what he needs.
And so far, looking at the numbers here, I think the fastest lap here so far tonight has been hold on, sorry, I gotta find my mouse here.
Yes, same here.
Best lap is Jason Karlovich with the 29.93. So,
And guess who is second on that list?
probably Schweikart. I would
Schweikart
imagine, with a
by
94.
0.02
Yeah.
or 0.1.
Well, 0.2 because 29.93.4 and then a 29.94.7. So yeah, you know, rounding up.
Math, you know.
Would you like to ask more questions there, Nate? Give me a recap. What he asked earlier. Are you able to pull that up?
He
I'm
looks
old
like
and
he
dumb and
looks like he just
can't
asked how
read.
the race was going.
Oh, well, race is going good. We've been caution free whole time.
Hopefully it continues. We might actually be done in less than an hour of racing, which is absolutely insane.
Well, the
I think we're getting ready to jinx it. I just have a feeling something's going to happen.
well, let me get this out. Let me get this out real quick. The last caution-free race these guys had was at Dover.
Knocking on wood for you there. Hope everybody heard it.
Yeah, we did. Or I did.
Okay. So that means broadcast heard it if you heard it.
Hamish Gallagher looking to catch E.J. O'Rourke to get into that 6th position. Last couple laps, they have been identical with lap times.
Yeah, they really have. Just by looking at the numbers here, they've been trying to one up each other, but it's been close. We got 10 laps of racing to go here now. Leader
Looks
just
like
crossed for 10 to go.
Looks like Carlos
And
just slowly.
just been able to reel it in, Mike. I know you're probably getting ready to say that. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, it looks like he's slowly starting to reel him back in.
But what's the famous thing we talk about all the time when we're on All-Star 15 TV?
You can get there, but you might not be able to pass him.
Catching him's one thing, passing's another. That's right. Which, I mean, the last couple laps, he's been faster by about a tenth. They were even that time. Jason was faster by 4/1000ths of a second. A 31.469 for John Schweikart and a 31.465 for Karlovich there.
Gary, do you think there's a bit of a draft pull here at all?
I would say he's definitely in his draft now, for sure. If he can still maintain his pace that he was on before he got into his draft and be able to reel himself in a little bit more, I think he's going to be in good shape.
About a half
He's
a
definitely
tenth.
there now. 364 there, and like you said, about a half a tenth there on speed. He was faster that lap. Gonna be interesting here, coming with 8 to go.
But look
to
what's
7 to go.
out in front of Swinehart. Lap traffic. Is that
He does have a
gonna-
little bit of lap traffic. He's got, let's see, trying to find him here. Brian Wortman, Jeff Ryan, I think the 15 of Joe Hudson. So he's got a couple of guys to contend with here.
down to a quarter of a second.
But you know what's really great about racing here in the Sim500? These lap cars are very classy. They know if it's coming down to the end of the race and 1 and 2 is battling really hard, they know to just simply get out of the way, whether they pull the apron or get completely out of the groove to the high side. They just know when it's their time to just let them go. Especially Workman. And 6 laps to go here.
Ooh, he is there.
He's there, but can he get around him? Or at least get to a point. I think really what John's been struggling with here is the exit of 2. It seems like that's where Karlovich is able to manipulate his truck a little bit to get it to rotate better off the exit of 2. And turn 4, he's able to run just a hair higher, which gives him a little bit extra momentum too for the front straightaway. So
I think he's kind of stalled a little bit. He stayed right around those That 0.2 of a second mark.
Oh, he really gained right there.
He gained 3/100ths there off of turn 4, so coming to the line. So he was a little faster by about 3/100ths, but he's definitely hoping that the lap traffic will at least be in the way a little bit, as the flagman's got 5 fingers in the air for 5-finger death punch.
Nice.
Coming to 4 to go. See that segue?
That was nice. And I'm full
4 to
of
go
bad
here.
company. What, Jekyll and Hyde? Sorry.
There you go.
And Swinehart pulling away a little bit faster that last lap.
I think he was able to get a little bit of draft off that 74. So that's been his saving grace a little bit here. But he's not going to have it for very much longer here. Coming to 3 laps to go, and he's going to have to worry about getting around that 74.
I can feel for the 60 there. You know, I've been in that position a couple times, whether it's on iRacing or some sort of other form of video game racing or simulator racing. Sorry if that triggers anybody.
He said game.
Yeah, you did.
You know, it's like, I know I'm faster.
There goes Wortman. Wortman's getting out of the way.
There you go. Just as I called it.
That's going to mess with Karlovic exit.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Yeah, Brian might have clipped the wall there. Brian's not going to really appreciate that, but hey, it is what it is. All right. Well, I guess if you're Jason now, it's full send time.
It is full sun time. Coming to the white.
Down the back straightaway they go. Second to last time they'll be doing that. Mile and a half. Well, a little more than a mile and a half to go here for John.
And out of turn 4, heading to that start-finish line, it is the Wrestling with Nerds final lap.
Wrestling Nerds final lap.
Separating Swinehart and Karlovic through 1 and 2 the final time.
That was a very good turn 1 and 2.
Play a difference right now between the 01 and the 60. 60 not able to turn as well as he was earlier. 01 coming through the final corners one final time. Jason trying a different line. It's not going to work for him. Coming off of turn number 4, John sweeps it. Able to get back into victory lane and wins at Texas Motor Speedway. The 01 finishing in the 1 spot.
He gets redemption from Bristol.
That's right. Finally able to finish the deal there. Good job to John.
Karlovic in 2nd, Tommy Ryan in 3rd. Chad Coleman finishes in 4th, rounding out the top 5. EJ O'Rourke. Hamish Gallagher in 6th. Mike Kelly 7th. Josh Parker in 8th. 9th goes to Steve Ritter. 10th, rounding out the top 10, it's the 91 of Wesley Donaldson. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We're going to have our podium finishers just in a tad, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. And, oh, God. Maybe we're not going to take a commercial break.
That was fun.
That was fun. I don't think John's very happy about that.
John wasn't happy about that one. I wouldn't be either, to be fair.
Well, there goes that burnout.
We're about to put them in a waiting room together. Oh, just kidding. Actually, no, not kidding. I did do that on accident. Oops.
Stirring the tea. Stirring the tea.
Didn't mean to do that. Hope he gets out of there. Moving the wrong people. That's what I do. At least I didn't move them in here. That would have been funny. I don't see Tommy Ryan unless I'm blind.
Tommy, he's in there. He's in the waiting room. I see him.
Oh, okay. Cool. Right on. Cool.
All right. So, Mike.
Okay, who do you want to talk to first?
Well, Mike's going to start with our P3 finisher, Tommy Ryan. Take it away, Mike.
Tommy, Gary, Mike, and AJ in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, man.
Well, man, congratulations on your P3 finish tonight. A caution-free race tonight that we saw here at Texas. Just give me a rundown on how your night went and how you got that P3 finish.
It was just tight. Right front went away about 10, 12 laps into the run, and everything kind of stabilized. So if you tried to short pit, you really paid for it in the end. I was just trying to pit with the leaders just so I could stay on track. when the caution came out. I wouldn't lose too much track position, or yeah, it's just it's hard to pass. Clean air is king. So when you got the lead, I just when I come out of the pits on that last run, I was just afraid to run as hard as those guys did, because I was like, should walk back to them before the end of this thing, and it just never did.
Yeah. As we close the books on Texas tonight and we look forward to Richmond next week for the regular season finale, give me your thoughts as we're heading to the short track of Richmond.
I like it. It's been a good track for me. I mean, there's not many that I don't like, but I enjoy racing there. As long as guys don't run each other over getting in the corner, it should be relatively good racing. So we'll just see what happens when we get there, and just need to qualify well again and keep track position.
For sure, as they call it, the Richmond, the action track nowadays. Before we let you get out of here to celebrate your P3 finish, is there anybody you'd like to thank? Family, friends, sponsors?
Yeah, 811 Dig, and then Northern Tool and Equipment. And then thanks for Joey putting this thing on, and Glenn. That's pretty sure is still the TranService Truck Series. So thanks for him for all the support that he does for this league, on cars and different series and whatnot. So that's about it.
Well, Tommy, congratulations again on your P3 finish, and we will see you next week in Richmond.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks to Tommy Ryan. Gary, are you ready for P2 and Jason Karlovich?
Yeah, sure am. Hey, Jason. Started 7th, finished in 2nd here tonight. Caution-free race at Texas. It seemed like there toward the end, with maybe about 10 to go, you were gaining ground on the 01, and then it just kind of stalled out. Probably a lot of arrow there. Talk about the finish of the race.
Yeah, Gary, I was thinking the same thing there. I thought we had a real shot at the end. I was hoping John burnt up his stuff a little bit towards the end of the run there, and was hoping I could make a run, and then I just got close enough to him where the dirty air, like you said, really just started to get me tight. I started to look around. I tried to go up top in 3 and 4 because that's where I was really fighting the tightness at the end there, but I had nothing for him there. I couldn't get to him. If I could have, I would have tried to make a move, but still, really good day. Can't complain for caution-free race to come out second and have a shot at the win there at the end. Pretty happy with that result.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, next week we go to Richmond, regular season finale, before we head to the playoff grind here. Talk about it. You like the track? Hate it? Somewhere in between? How do you feel about it?
I like Richmond. I like short tracks in general. I think I have a little concern after Bristol last week on how that race is going to go, but it's a flatter track. I feel like we could spread out a little bit more, so I think it'll be a good race, and just really hoping to have another good run for the Speedway Collective Chevy or Toyota, and we'll see what we can do. That's we're happy with the way we're running, but we feel like we're getting better, and might be able to inch towards the win before the season's over.
Absolutely. Anybody you want to thank, or love yous, thank yous, goodbyes to anybody that you want to celebrate this P2 with?
Oh yeah, give a shout out to the family and Alexa for tuning in. Probably they're probably out there watching, so appreciate their support and allowing me to jump in here and race simulated race cars for a night or two a week. And shout out to my buddy Tyler Wildman, who runs Speedway Collective Fantasy NASCAR site. He does pretty much all the weekly work and keeping the site up to date. So really appreciate the stuff he puts into the site and all the work he does. So and thanks to you guys for putting on this broadcast and putting on the show, and looking forward to going back and watching it tomorrow and seeing what I could have did differently there to catch John at the end. Congrats to him on the win as well.
Absolutely. Well, we'll let you go celebrate P2 here. We'll see you next week at Richmond.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Jason Karlovich, P2. It's time to talk to our winner here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway in the TranService Truck Series. It's none other than John Swinehart. John, holy cow, what a race. You guys go caution free and you are able to hold off Jason Karlovich there. Talk about the race and talk about those final laps and how you finished it off and got a little bit of redemption from Bristol last week.
Yeah, I mean, can you believe it? Back in Victory Lane, talking to you. Well, not back, but first time Victory Lane in this series. Back talking to you guys again 2 weeks in a row. I think that's pretty awesome. That's a huge accomplishment for being in this league, because it's a lot of lot of good drivers. But race was really awesome. Had a great time racing with Jason and Brian. He kind of slid on pit road on entry, and I think it messed his race up. But man, we had a heck of a battle up front. There toward the end, I got out ahead of Jason on pits and tried to stretch the gap just a little bit. Heated that right front up some, but I knew I was fast enough in front of him that, you know, I saw him creeping back up, that that draft lock was going to kind of be an issue, just being in dirty air, because I rode behind Macklin for, I don't know, 3/4 of the race. So held on to it and come away the victory. And yeah, that trash at the end, I mean, who cares? I mean, that's just somebody that's unhappy about last week that can't get over it. So they want to come destroy a burnout on eSim. I hope it makes them feel better.
Yeah, we were hoping to get a nice video of you burning it down, but unfortunately didn't get it. But you finishing first here tonight has to 100% help you making the Sim 500 playoffs. Talk about now how you are going to attack Richmond next week.
Well, I think I talked to you guys before. I really had no intention of being in the point standings or making the playoffs. I was
Oops.
just here to just have a lot of fun and see what I could do and shake things up. And man, we pulled it off. So now I guess I need to go racing and be a little bit smarter on some of my passes and see if we can't make a run at this championship.
Yeah, the last couple weeks you've been very good, and I honestly think that's an understatement. You were very strong here tonight, and you were strong again at Bristol last week. But man, if anybody's gonna do it right now, you were the hottest driver on the racetrack. Hopefully, I didn't just jinx you. I'm knocking on every bit of wood I got around me. But
You jinxed him.
if you got any sponsorships, let's hear about them.
Yeah, huge thanks to LaRue Esports, my two teammates, Nelson Rivera, Rob Friery. Without them, I mean, they're just such a huge help. Lots of information. We work so good as a group. Shout out to Broadcast Sim500 series. Like I said, this is an incredible group of drivers. Everybody's so close, very talented. So really excited just to be racing with everybody. It is vindication that I was able to pull off a win in my first series with them, so pretty awesome. But now we'll just turn to the chase, and I'm not really worried about Richmond. Let's just see how Talladega goes, and then start working on Chicago and Dover. Those are going to be some strong tracks. So just happy to be here and have a good time.
All right, John. Well, thanks for coming and talking with us. Congratulations on your win here tonight. We'll see you next week at Richmond Raceway.
All right, sounds good. Have a good evening, boys.
See you later, pal. All right, Gary, give us your final thoughts, pal, and bring her home.
Well, I think tonight was a really good race, as we talked about and kind of assumed there with Jason kind of confirming it. Aero Wars played effect here tonight toward the end of that race. And once again, we see here at 1.5 miles in these trucks, clean air is king. No matter how worn out the surface is, whether it's pack racing or single file, clean air is the most important thing.
Mike Campidge, you got anything else?
I think Gary summed it up pretty well. I'm just very impressed with all the drivers tonight at the Sim500 TranService Truck Series. We're putting on a great show. Excited to get to Richmond next week with you boys so we can figure out who's going to be the 18 drivers for that playoff.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to All-Star 15 TV tonight. It was the TranService Truck Series Sim500 race from Texas Motor Speedway. John Swinehart, Jason Karlovich, and Tommy Ryan, your top three. We'll see you next week at Richmond Raceway. Stay cool, stay safe, and don't do anything stupid. Bye, everybody.
Industries across the board utilize fleet trucks on a daily basis, from your local utility company to your grocery store, and many of these companies choose full-service fleet leasing. With a traditional lease, you're responsible for everything after you get the truck, but a full-service lease includes all the maintenance and other services at a set cost. Regardless of the scope or range of your fleet needs, TranService will engineer a fully customized, full-service fleet leasing solution optimized to your requirements. From asset acquisition requiring no capital investment, to the engineering, configuration, and selection of your fleet equipment, to the people, facilities, and equipment to keep your fleet maintained and repaired. TranService gives you everything you need with advantageous fleet pricing based on our national account status, compliance expertise, inspections, licensing, permitting, personal property taxes, nationwide roadside service. We cover it all for you. Contact us today to learn why leading companies rely on TranService for complete turnkey leasing solutions.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.